Track 10, Unit 6.
Today, as part of our series on e-commerce, I'm going to tell you a bit about internet banking, or online banking as it is also known, and how it has developed over the years. Now, believe it or not, online banking actually began way back in the early 1980s, before we even had the internet. Anyone who had a computer terminal and a monitor could access the banking system through their phone line. Services were extremely basic compared to those today. You could view your statements online, and you could also send messages to your bank, but that was about it. If you wanted to transfer money or pay a bill, you had to send written instructions to your branch. Anyway, the first banks to offer this service were in the USA in 1981, and the idea soon caught on in other countries, arriving in the UK in 1983. As you might expect, however, the number of people using these services was very small, probably less than 1% of all account holders, and most of those were businesses. This all started to change in the 1990s, when the internet took off. More and more people were buying personal computers and going online. And in 1994, some financial institutions started implementing online banking services through a web browser, like they do today. Of course, many consumers were hesitant to conduct transactions over the internet. They thought it was unsafe, and not without reason, as the large number of online thefts from that time can testify. As a result, customer numbers remained relatively low. However, two things gradually changed public attitudes. The first was that banks spent a lot of time and money improving security features for their websites. The second was the sudden increase in online stores, such as Amazon and eBay. As the idea of paying for items online became widespread, people began to feel more comfortable conducting financial transactions over the internet. Suddenly, internet banking really became popular. In 2001, for example, the Bank of America became the first bank to top 3 million online banking customers, who between them that year made over 3 million electronic bill payments worth over $1 billion. By 2012, an estimated 62% of account holders in the US and UK were using online banking services. In some countries, Sweden being one example, up to 90% of bank customers were doing it. In the same period, a lot of online banks, that is, those banks which only existed on the internet, came into existence, offering better interest rates and more services. So what's the attraction? Online banking has many advantages for the customer, of course. They can view their accounts 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They can pay their utility bills, or most other bills for that matter, transfer money, arrange loans, and so on, all without leaving the comfort of their own homes. In fact, with today's smartphones, they don't even need to be at a computer to do all of this. But how do the banks benefit? Well, research has shown that compared with offline customers, those who use online banking tend to maintain higher balances. They also require less support, by which I mean they ask for help less frequently, which helps banks to cut down on staff. They are also less likely to switch to or use another bank. Interestingly, they're also more likely to recommend their bank to friends and family. Banks which are purely online also have the advantage of not having to maintain the expenses of traditional bank buildings. Things like rent, building maintenance, staff, and so on. Furthermore, banks with a strong regional identity, such as Ulster Bank in Northern Ireland, have been able to use internet banking to expand their customer base beyond their original territory. In other words, you no longer need to live in Northern Ireland to hold an account with them.